Today we're going to work with Onshape, and in particular just getting used to the interface. So you're going to want to go to this website address, and this will take you to the sign in page. Then you're going to type in your sign in stuff and click sign in. After you sign in, you're going to come to your documents page, and this is where everything is kind of done. So you can see through here, you can see I have a bunch of files already created. When you first go there, you're not going to have hardly anything because you haven't created anything yet. I thought we would just spend a little bit of time on this page and let you know what's going on here. So there's the My Onshape, and this is where you'll end up being. So if you get lost out there after clicking through tabs, you can click My Onshape and get back home. Then it'll show you recently opened, so all the documents that you've had open recently, things created by you, things shared with you. Right now I don't have anything shared with me, but that can happen later on. And it also, you can go to the trash can. I'm going to go to My Onshape there. The next thing I'll do is show you over here on this side of the page. This is the list view, and here's the grid view. You may decide that that works better for you. This is because I went inside a folder. I can see everything in there now. But if I go back to list view, you can see it looks a little different. Personally, I like the list view a little bit better. It shows me a thumbnail and gives me a little more detail about the drawing. But that's personal preference. So you could choose either one of those. I'm going to go up here to create and show you how this tab works a little bit. So here's a document. Here's a folder. And you can also import files. If you were just to go to document, which we'll do in here in just a little bit, it will allow you to create just a file like one of these that we're used to creating in other CAD programs. If we create folders, and I would highly recommend that, as you go through projects this year, it would benefit you greatly to keep your parts organized. So if I go back out here now to My Onshape, I'm going to go over to list view. You can see I have different folders in here. Here's an automata that I was working on. So you can see all of the different files that are in that particular folder, and it really does make a difference, especially as the year progresses. Things will be organized for you. Now I'm going to go over here and I'm going to talk to you about your preferences a little bit. So if I go over, I click my thumbnail. Right now yours probably doesn't have a picture yet, but I can click my thumbnail here and go to my account. I can also go up here and change and put a picture in there. You don't really need to do that. It does help when you start working with teams though, to keep everything organized. You can go to emails and set your emails. I want to talk to you about the preferences tab though. This is probably the most important one for us in class anyway. Make sure your language is in English. And then your units, we do typically carry 3 decimal places, so that's a good way to go about it. Most of these, for the default, you'll be fine, so you won't have to change that much. But let's say maybe someday you have a drawing that's done in millimeters. You can go right there to length units and change it, and it'll be millimeters for you. You can also change that inside the document. So the mouse controls, for the most part, you could leave those as default as well. You could also go up here. This is for people that are using other CAD programs. Now you can take the Onshape default, which is fine for us. SolidWorks, NX10, Creo, and AutoCAD. There are different flavors of CAD, and what this does is allows you to make the commands in here with your mouse work similar to these other type of programs. For now, we'll just keep the defaults. Shortcut toolbar is a place you may want to go as the year progresses. When you're inside a drawing, you can hit the S key and it'll pull up this little shortcut toolbar, and these are things that you commonly use, and you don't really know all of those yet, so I would just keep the default for now. But just know that in the future you may decide, hey, you know what, I use extrude quite a bit, so I'm going to actually add that to my list. Or I use fillet quite a bit, so I'm going to actually add that to my list. And that's kind of, again, it's a personal preference thing. For now though, you could leave that as the default and be fine. Then your Onshape material library, for right now, we could leave that as the default and be fine as well. I do want to show you down here, there is teams. This allows you to create teams and invite certain people to that, and then everybody would have access to the files in that folder. Very similar setup to Google Docs, and we're pretty familiar with that. So we could create a team and give it a name and a description and hit create team, and then it will allow us to assign usernames or emails that we would have to get from each other in class. For right now though, I'm just going to go back to Onshape here and open up a simple file. So again, here's the root directory, and you can tell by right up here it says my Onshape right now. If I go inside one of these folders, notice that it puts the folder there. So that just kind of helps you navigate through everything. I'm going to go ahead and just create a simple document. First thing it's going to do is ask me for a name, so I'm going to just put test file and hit OK or press enter. And then here are my work planes. I wanted to show you a couple other things in here. So just to navigate around, here's the view cube, so I could square that up and get to the front view. I could click on the sides, I could click these arrows and it'll rotate around. I can also hold my right mouse button down and I can freely rotate like that. If I want to pan, if I have a mouse with a wheel button, I can actually press the wheel down, and that allows me to move things back and forth across the screen. So the big thing, just like any CAD program, is learning how to move around a little bit. Last thing I'm going to show you in this particular video is the help section. And what I'm actually going to do is click the down arrow right in here. And I want to show you that you can get help. You can go to the Learning Center. There's a bunch of stuff there for you. But I'm also going to show you keyboard shortcuts. So I'm going to go right here to keyboard shortcuts and click it. And this shows me all of the different shortcuts in there. Now I know right now, because we're brand new to this might be a little overwhelming. But I would highly recommend getting a printout of that. So you could just do a screenshot of that and keep it in your Google Docs, or you could actually just print it out. And those things kind of help you as you move along throughout the year. You'll get quicker and quicker, just like you would with any CAD program. But this is just different shortcuts that Onshape already has built into it.